Hey friends, hope you guys are all having the best day ever wherever you are in the world. Who's going to be the first one on today?
Somebody's
Somebody's on
I don't know
YouTube.
who it is. You have
Who's
to
on
say
YouTube? Say
hi.
hi. You're the first one. You
You have
win.
to say hi, or we don't know who you are. It just says that there's somebody
Mm-hmm.
here. And there's already a like.
Well, maybe somebody will hop on Facebook. We got one on YouTube. Nobody's on Facebook yet. Or it could be delayed. That's also possible.
Yes.
Got a couple on YouTube. If you guys are so inclined, say hello.
We got someone on Facebook. Who
Ron
is it?
Erickson from Arizona. He's the first one to comment today. Bush Pony. Hi from Beth in cold Maryland. It does look cold up there. I wish you guys would send some of that weather out here. We really need the snow.
We only kind of wish it though.
We don't wish for the cold, but we do need the snow.
We need
Hi from Alberta, 1980. Ron says it's 76 degrees down there in Arizona. Wow.
It's
It's always the weather talk. Everybody
Yeah,
likes to
I
talk
know.
about weather.
It's 50 something outside here, which is wild for February.
Mm-hmm. Well, hope you guys are all doing amazing. All right. Richard Morgan from Erda. We got our Utah
Sandy's
guy.
on.
Sandy
Hi,
Ledke.
Sandy.
Hey, Sandy. How's it going, pal? Sarah Anderson says it's hot in Tucson. I bet.
How hot? Just tell us.
Teresa Eddy, Sierra Nevada Mountains in California.
Got Australia on over there.
Australia. From Queensland. Isn't it? Let's see. What time is it there? I always forget.
It's tomorrow. That's all I know.
It's tomorrow. what are
it's
they?
Mule Tip Wednesday
Weren't
for
they like
them,
6
probably.
hours behind, but tomorrow?
Yeah, something like that.
So
it's like 18 hours ahead.
I guess it's probably about lunchtime there for them. Thanks for watching from Australia. Jason Cordell, I'm glad you finally made it. He texted me, said, I keep missing Mule Tip Tuesday. When is it?
I've had a lot of people's just random comments. They'd be like, what?
Christina Hacking, hello.
When is Mule Tip Tuesday? Like, well, it's on Tuesday.
Well, that's a fair question because we've changed the format many times. For the longest time, we did them live, and then I just would post them, and then
we've gone back and forth.
We want to do them live. It's kind of fun to answer questions, and so, hello, Lee. How's it going?
It's the 4th, yeah.
Yeah.
See, she's coming to us from the future.
Yep.
It's February 4th.
Yep.
I love that.
Well, I got a tip for you guys. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We'll see. Is it one I've heard before?
Probably.
Give us one we haven't heard before. Just kidding.
In fact, all these guys probably heard it too. Actually, today I was talking to a friend of mine. We was recording a podcast, and you guys, I assume, maybe I shouldn't assume, but I assume most of you listen to our podcast. And if you listen to our podcast regularly, episodes come out pretty much once a week. And at the end of every episode, it's my favorite part of the podcast. At the end of every episode, I ask for a word of advice. Well, today when I was chatting with my buddy, got to that point, and he gave just the coolest piece of advice. So I thought, I'm going to share this from Mule Tip Tuesday. It's really simple. He said, if you're looking for excuses, you'll find it. You'll find one. If you're looking for excuses, you'll find one.
Mm-hmm.
And
because everyone's got them.
Yeah,
right.
There's always excuses, and then he said, and a lot of excuses are actually probably good excuses, but you have to get out and do it anyways. And you guys will hear when the podcast comes out. But his reference was, they were gathering cows on a cold, miserable day, and it was raining. And if you've ever been to a branding, well, it's really hard to brand if the hide is wet. It'll just cool your irons right off way too fast, and it's hard to process calves like that. Then it was pouring rain, and anyways, the rain finally cleared up, and he got out, and anyways, he said that day his boss said, if you guys are looking for excuses not to work, well, they were there this morning, but thanks for actually showing up. And all of you guys out there, whatever you're doing, whether you're thinking about going for a good ride today, or you're thinking about getting out there and playing in the backyard with your critters, or it might even be making a choice to exercise this morning, or making a choice to eat better, or making a choice to get the thing done that you've been putting off. There's always excuses. There really is. Excuses are never ending. They're always around. But it's your job to beat those excuses. Don't let those excuses hold you back. I've met a lot of people, and so have you, that excuses just hold them back from really cool things. I'll
I'm
do it
one of them
tomorrow.
sometimes.
Well, so am I. We all are. We're all. This happens to all of us. I'm not preaching this stuff because I'm good at it.
What?
Um, there's always there's always excuses. So, what do you think about that?
That's great. It's a good one.
Yeah. Anyways,
I
what do you guys think
approve.
about that? You approve? Okay, good. So, if you're out there, maybe you had some excuses today, but tomorrow I want you to get past those excuses. One of my favorite things about doing our master class is all the students, and many of you, I see lots of master class students on here. Master class students are supposed to post videos on our Facebook page. We have a private Facebook page for master class students specifically, and they're supposed to post their exercises and assignments. And I love it in the wintertime because there'll be people out there in the butt cold winter, like cold, 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 miserable
Yeah.
winter.
Just come over there.
And oh yeah, I like
No
that.
excuses for me. I work my horses and mules in a blizzard with 1 foot in a cast.
Wow, good job. But like I love it. People will post their videos of working out there in the wintertime.
Mhm.
And then
Well,
our
and it
friends
goes,
like Sandy Ludke
yeah,
down in Arizona in the
I was gonna say
summertime.
the same thing. The
She'll be
summertime for the Arizona people, that's their hard time.
We've had friends come out to our extreme trail clinic. It's amazing the tough people that have endured at our extreme trail clinic. I can't talk. And we've had people with broken backs come to the trail clinic. We've had people with broken ankles, broken ribs, like all kinds of things. And they're like, I am not missing this clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to let excuses get in the way. Um, my doctors tell me I have to wait all this time, but I don't think I'm going to listen to him.
That doctor's just making excuses.
He is. He's making excuses. I'm going to be getting on my meal soon.
No, I need all of you guys to tell Ty be good.
Nah, I'm going to get on.
He says that every day, but he hasn't done it yet.
Well, it won't be long. All right, let me know what you think of that. Alberta, 1980, thanks for your comment. I'm glad that you're getting out there and getting after it because, especially up there, if you let the cold days get you down, well, it's just going to be another day and another day, another day. So, all right. Well, let me know if you guys have any comments on that. Have any thoughts on that? And then if you guys have questions, start posting them. And we'll say hi until we see some questions. So I see Marisa on there. Why don't you scroll through that Facebook one?
What am I looking for?
Questions or people say hi to.
Okay.
Let's see.
In the way. Sorry. You look at my big fat finger.
Okay.
Okay, are you looking?
Well, I don't see any questions on YouTube.
Oops. Oh, I hit a button. Sorry.
Any questions, guys? Post away here.
She has a question over there.
Okay. Oh, I see one here. My mule has become really good with keeping that head turned in and is always looking to come in and get release. I keep him going a few times to let him get some release, but he's figured out to not work by looking in. Well, you answered that question, Alberta, 1980. Just send him out. That's it. Simple as that.
I think you could look at it as like he's asking a question like, can I come in now? Like, did I do it? Am I like, he's just being eager to be rewarded or whatever, and you can just say, no, keep going. We're not done yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Simple as that.
Great job. Keep going,
Yep. And keep going. All you got to do is go another couple steps or maybe another step and then quit and he'll get the idea. And then I would say, as you're going, try to find spots to quit where he is engaged and not wait until he's trying to come in and then push him further and then quit.
And that might have
a little bit sooner.
That might have started because maybe when he's looked in that I see people all the time do this without realizing it. that they let the mule choose when to stop or to move on or to whatever without even realizing they're doing it. So that may have started because he like looked in and looked like he was ready. And so you asked for the stop and he's like, okay, when I looked in, she let me stop. And so
they're answering your questions all the time, whether you guys realize or not. They are answering your questions in one form or another. Everything they do is in response to the feel they're getting from you. So yeah, just like you're saying, if it doesn't take much, they figure stuff out. But if they looked into you and then you drew them in and they got a big release, well,
he's gonna do it again. But he's on the right track, so you can just kind of give him a good job, keep going.
Yep.
You know, like he's doing what he's supposed to do.
Just a little bit more. You don't have to get after him or anything.
I found it up here, but it scrolled away. Hold on.
Find it.
Hold on.
Do you guys ever go hunting with your mules? Yeah, I'm really excited. Hopefully in the next couple months. I don't know if any of you guys watch Meat Eater, but went on a really cool hunt with them, so you guys get to see me out there doing the thing.
That one.
Read it out loud.
Okay.
It's too far for me.
Darren Baum said,
"Hey, you're a Utah guy.
Often my mule swishes its tail when asked to do something. He will do as asked. However, I wonder if his tail swish is telling me he doesn't like it, or if he just is showing that he's thinking."
Well, the tail swish deal, Darren. Generally for mules, when I see them doing that, probably 6 out of 10 times, it's going to be because of frustration or discomfort, irritated. Basically, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're in pain. It can mean they're in pain. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're, saying no. I see them swish their tail when they're confused. I see them swish their tail when they're uncomfortable. Like, for example, Cupcake, tail swisher. I mean, she's always swishing her tail, specifically
like it's her job.
when you want her to run.
Yeah,
she really swishes her tail, and she just don't like to run.
Well, she's a little bit uncomfortable. Like,
I think it's because of the saddle foot mostly. That mule has a terrible conformation, like but the worst conformation ever.
Not if she was a goat.
If she was a goat, she would have good conformation.
Perfect.
But for a mule, Cupcake's got the worst conformation.
Well, I think she does do a
so
little
the saddle
bit.
doesn't fit. I think so. Like when she's swishing her tail, I think the saddle's rocking on her, and it doesn't feel good. She don't like it.
Yeah, well, she doesn't want to be rushed, first of all. But I do think she swishes a little bit out of concentration, but it definitely gets more propellery if you're asking her to do something she doesn't want to do.
I see a lot of mules swish their tail when they're working cattle. They get pretty intense, and they get to swishing their tail.
That's
and those
she does.
Yeah, she does that too.
But I don't know.
Yeah, so
I think you kind of have to look at everything else they're doing too, because that's just a little piece of the puzzle that can tell you something. But because like another part of that is like their ears, because it's the same thing with Cupcake. She gets like kind of lays her ears back, but I feel like that's could partially be, like being uncomfortable. But I think a lot of that for her is concentration.
Yep.
Too, because the rest of her is happy and like she's doing things like punctually and with softness. So she's
you have to look at all the elements.
Yeah.
You got to look at the ears. You got to look at the mouth. You got to look at the tension in their muscle. There's a million things to look at. Good question, Darren. I know we didn't really answer it for you, but because it's hard. It's
Ty's favorite answer is it depends.
It does depend. I mean, there's lots of different variables right there. So, but just looking at the tail swishing by itself, I do think you're right, Sky. You can miss the bigger picture because it's just one piece of it.
And I think it depends on what you're asking them to do because, like for Cupcake, if we're loping, that is 100% because she doesn't want to do it and she doesn't like it. It's not comfortable for her. The tack doesn't fit her great. But when I'm backing her up, like through a herd of cattle, she's not like uncomfortable or she's very soft and she's doing it nicely. But I think that is like, she's like trying to concentrate.
Yeah.
There's another one. Are you going that way?
Yeah, I'll go over here. My mule learned a couple years ago to pull and take off, and I worked hard to get that out of him. But it's still in the back of his mind. I know he'll ultimately pull and take off if too scared. Yeah. Well, the interesting thing about learning is you can't unlearn something. I mean, that goes for us and equine. Our nervous system, our minds are very similar, and I can't unlearn something, but I can replace that thing with something else. So it's just like somebody that, well, I mean, here's an example. So I quit drinking soda, I quit drinking Coke um, 2 years ago, and it was really actually kind of pretty hard. It was kind of ridiculous, huh? Um, but I replaced it with this lemonade
Alcohol.
alcohol. No, I did not replace it with alcohol, Sky. Um, I replaced it with lemonade. I like lemonade with cream. So I had to do something different, right? And you hear that across the board, people doing. You have to replace behaviors. You have to replace things. So I can't tell my mule not to bolt. Don't do that. That really won't do anything for the mule. And a lot of people that like when it bolts, they might get into the habit of. I'm talking about the person. If they have a mule that bolts, they might get in the habit of wanting to punish the bolt, like punish the poor behavior. And I understand where they're coming from 100%. I totally get it. The problem is just saying no keeps it in there. You have to give them something else, like something else that we choose in our clinics. Like as I see my mules getting stressed out, as that's coming up, we hit the pause button right there, and we want them to self-regulate. So we want them to come back down. And we put them purposefully in stressful situations, but in measured stress that we can manage and that we can keep track of. And when they get too stressed, or excuse me, right before they get too stressed, then I back it off. And um, anyways, that's kind of what I found helps that mule a lot because I mean, if they're going to be my mule, they're going to be in a million stressful situations. We ride our mules in stressful situations. Everything we do, the trails here that we ride, the ranches we work on and help with, the clinics we go to, all that, it's all stressful for our mules.
We're always leaving one, taking another. They're being left. They're being taken away.
Yep, herd bound dynamics all the time, on the road all the time. So our mules deal with constant stress, and bolting off can't be the answer. We have to give them something else, and that something else is being able to self-regulate.
Well, and I just think, I mean, with anything that you're trying to like fix or do better with, like you have to have the opportunity like come up again and be able to get through it in order to make any progress. So you have to know those will like come up, and you don't really know if you've made progress unless it happens.
Yeah, you kind of have to see some signs, but the key is when those stress signs come up, pause. Most people just. I was asked this on a podcast I was interviewed on a little while back, and they said, "Well, what's the number one thing that like you wish everybody could do more of, or the thing that you wish you could change in the equine world?" And I said, "I wish more people would be aware."
Mm-hmm.
That includes me. I want to be more aware every time I'm around them. I'm not 100%, and I don't know that I ever will be. But everybody else, we all of us need to be more aware and pay attention. Most people are just oblivious. They talk at their mule. They don't listen to the mule.
I think they see the mule as one whole. They're not seeing the details. It's like you're like the hard eyes and the soft eyes thing.
Yeah.
Like, so
the thing about like the bolting or any of this behavior that we all don't like is they tell you they're going to do it way before they do it. It's like Ray Hunt, his famous saying, they always prepare to position for the transition. That means they get their body balance to make the next move. So if we can just pay more attention to their body and their feet and where their balance is and how they're standing, how they're shifting, how they're leaning. If we can just pay attention, then you will be ahead of the game. I've had people say, geez, it seems like you can read their mind. I can't read their mind. I wish I could. I would love it if I could read their mind. But we have spent a ton of time. I just watch balance. I'm just watching where their feet are all the time.
Yeah.
And it tells you what they're going to do before they do it. I'm
Well,
still behind sometimes.
it's like a body language. Like if you even think about it with people, like you can't, somebody, let's say they're like upset and they're not saying a word. You can tell, or like if they're terrified, you can see it by looking at somebody. And anyways, just to think of that differently. The same as with the mule, but you have to be able to see that more. And I think it's kind of interesting to think like horse to mule to donkey, because donkeys are so like, what's the word? Stoic, and you really have to be able to read them. They're so subtle. Yeah. And then mules are a little, can be more so, or, whatever. But then I feel like horses are more obvious in how they're feeling generally. But you just have to watch those little details, just like you would a person. If you saw somebody that seemed uncomfortable, you would be able to tell.
Mm-hmm. Just like you touching your chin because you're a little nervous to be in front of a camera.
I just want to put it right here.
It's the same with us. We do body language all the time. Like it's very, very similar. Why don't you read a question from Jason? I assume it's Jason, maybe it's Lena.
I'm considering coming to your colt starting in Utah. I'm still a few years out from starting my colt, but I want to audit the process so I'm more prepared for my mule. I don't know if I can stay the whole time, so what days would be most beneficial if I can only stay 2 or 3?
Can you put this closer because you go out of this camera?
No, it's okay. I just can't because it's got the background behind the letters.
What days would be beneficial? Basically, is what Jason you're asking.
Yeah, if you can only come 2 or 3 days for the colt starting.
For the colt starting, I don't know. That's a hard one.
I would say the first days.
Probably the first 2 days, I guess.
3 would be best
because
for
sure. Colt. So here's the deal, Jason, and all of you. Colt starting is just mulemanship 1. We're just applying it. If you guys, and as I see most of these names, there's a majority of you have been to my clinics. Mulemanship 1 is where that's us as a student learn the maneuvers, learn the principles, learn how to put it all together. That's for mulemanship 1 is for us. It's not for training your mule at all. Colt starting is the application of it. So, Jason, you've already seen all the things in mulemanship 1. Jason's one of our clinic hosts. The difference in the colt starting is you're going to see it actually applied to mule training. That's our colt starting is our only quote training clinic that we have, that we work on the animal.
Well, and that's where timing is the most important, because in mulemanship 1, I'll be like, oh, try again. Like you do something like missed it, try it again.
Yep.
And not that you can't do that in colt starting, but if you miss something, it's just a lot.
Yeah, it costs you
harder on the mule because they need that understanding like right away.
Yeah, so you're probably right. The first 2 days, because the later on day 3 and 4 is a lot of repeat. Because we teach and we practice. We literally start over every day. So in colt starting, you're seeing that we start day 1 is obviously a new day, but then day 2 we start over, day 3 start over, day 4 start over.
I think if you're coming in mind with starting your own colt in mind, and you're going to do this clinic and you want to get an idea of where you're going to start, then day 1, 2, 3 are most important. If you're coming because you just want to watch a colt starting, then maybe day 1 or 2 isn't as important, because it's fun to see in the end how far they get. And you're like, whoa, these colts were just started.
Yeah. For people that are coming to watch, you're right. People coming just to watch, like just to see colt starting.
Like just for fun.
For the fun of it. Day 1 and 2 is pretty boring.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, well, it usually is. Day 3 and 4 is where you actually see them out doing the thing. Like,
kind of out and making progress. And
Bush Pony over here has a question. No radical terrain, front cinch only.
Dad said hi.
Cooper. Hi, Dad. Good old Dion. anyways, Bush Pony says no radical terrain, front cinch only, Crouper or Bridgen. Well, I guess that if it's pretty easy terrain, you probably get away with a Crouper. I use Croupers in my clinics when it's obviously flat, and that's good enough for me. But when I ride outside of pretty much, or if I'm in a rope, I definitely want to have a bridging on.
If you have a mule with decent withers and you're just going to ride flat, you probably don't need a bridging or a Crouper, but most mules, it's going to ride up on their shoulders.
Yeah, we don't. So, all of our mule, every one of our mules, we couldn't just ride without for very long.
Yeah, if you're going to ride, I would just say if you're going to ride hills of any kind, just use a bridging.
Yep.
Because if you think about the tail is like their spine, and I just think that's just terrible to have all that weight on their spine.
Yep.
But and a back cinch, did you say about back?
Well, yeah, that's the other part of the question, back cinch. I always recommend a rear cinch. They said the rear cinch seems too far back. Rear cinch should be going straight up and down. It should be vertical. Be able to put a level to it. You don't need to angle it back.
Or forward. I have my mule. I got a bunch of comments on some video we posted that everyone's like, back cinch is way too far. And like, he's just not very big. So he doesn't have very long back. The cinch goes straight up and down.
That may be what Bush Pony's dealing with here too.
Yeah. But because he's shorter this way, the back cinch is a tiny bit behind the curve of his belly.
Yep.
But that's just his body. I can't put it forward because it'll be on his shoulders.
We like it straight down. So if it ends up there, it is. And if the mule's a little uncomfortable with that, then that's something for you to work on. That's speaking of colt starting, that's back to colt starting stuff. They got to get that stuff solved in the beginning.
And just have a cinch hobble from the little leather piece or whatever between the front cinch and the back cinch. Then it won't slip behind. Because my mule being so little, it could, if I had it, it could maybe roll back behind, but that cinch hobble helps.
All right. Got another one on Facebook. Go ahead.
Yeah. Dean said, what would you recommend for a first-time mule owner? I don't have one, but I'm curious about them.
What I'd recommend you learn as much as you can, Dean. That would be, so I'm glad you're here on Mule Tip Tuesday. Appreciate you taking the time out of your evening to watch and learn. That's number one. Learn all you can. I would get around as many mules and people that have mules as you can and learn. They're all different. Putting mules in just a general, we end up doing it all the time just because that's how we talk. But we have a pen of mules and each one of them is totally different than the other. So they are very much individual. So getting around a lot of them and seeing all that variety is pretty important.
I think what a lot of people don't take into account with mules, they just put them in a box like a mule's a mule, is that they can be every breed that a horse is. So there's all kinds of horse people out there that they prefer, quarter horses. They like the walk-in or horses, they like the, I don't know, fancier ones for showing. Like you can have every one of those breeds in a mule too. So you need to kind of know what it's kind of like a dog. You wouldn't go get, I don't know.
With horses, people very rarely just say horses.
Yeah.
They'll say quarter horses. They'll say thoroughbreds, Arabians, foxtrotters, walkers. They'll usually specify. And now within those breeds, there is so much specific breeding itself. Like quarter horse is almost to the point where it's not even a thing now because you have total different variations of quarter horses. It's the same thing with mules. You can have a mule that's one mule out of this quarter horse, one mule out of this quarter horse, and you have completely different types of animals. Cow bred versus more pleasure bred or halter bred, things like that. Those are completely different horses, and they make a completely different mule. So, anyways, our suggestion is for you to get around as many as you can. To
kind of know what you want. It's like picking a breed of dog. Like you're not gonna, if you don't want like a Malinois that needs like tons and tons of attention, you're not gonna go. You need to do your homework. So kind of same with mules. Kind of know what breed you're after. A lot of people like the gated mules. They think mostly because they're smooth. But there are a lot of smooth quarter horse mules too, and a lot of them walk out. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the gated ones can be a little more energetic. Not always, but anyway. So just
they're all different.
Keep an eye out.
Learn all you can.
If you can go to like mule days wherever you're at, and you'll just see a bunch of them and meet a bunch of mule people. And
yeah, there's Boyd Ranch Mule Days. There's Bryce Canyon Mule Days. We have our Mule Week, Bishop Mule Days. There's so many little events that you can go to, and then like our
where you can see a bunch all at once.
Just listen to like our podcast. There's 268 episodes, and we're talking all things mules and horses, and
you're in the right place.
All that. So there's a lot of information.
You're on the right track.
How important is it to get a right brain versus left brain, and introvert versus extrovert? I know this is important in how you work through issues with equine.
Hit a button.
I don't get into that. I don't get into all that. I would recommend. So this is from DWSRS24. I don't recommend you get too far down that road of left brain, right brain is for extrovert. Check out. There's a book. Maybe you can grab it. Well, I don't know where to tell you how to find it. There's a book called Evidence-Based Horsemanship, and then he's wrote Steve Peters, Dr. Steve Peters. You can go listen to his podcast. It's on I got it on my podcast, Everyday Mulemanship, and it's on YouTube. Go listen to that. Get in with that guy. He and Martin Black have done some amazing research, and they'll get you on the right track of how these horse brains and mule brains work. They're on the right track. That way you don't have to go down that confusing road and try to label them all that. That's kind of getting off the path a little bit there, and just keep it simple. Your mule or your horse, it's the same. They like to be comfortable. If you guys can just work with that, I promise you, just keep it that simple. They love to be comfortable. And so everything that you want them to do, make sure that thing is comfortable. Anything that you don't want them to do, if it's uncomfortable, they'll avoid it. You could simplify mulemanship and horsemanship down to just that. But check out Evidence-Based Horsemanship. He's got another book right here. It's called Horse Brain Science. I got it on my bookshelf right here behind me. Horse Brain Science. I'm ready to read it. It's kind of the beefed up version of Evidence-Based Horsemanship, but that'll get you on the right track there. DWSRS 24. Good question.
Another one?
Keep it simple. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Linda Oliver said, my horse did not handle deadfall. I started out very easy, step over one thing, step over two, etc. Years later, he's way better, but I also feel he would panic in a tough situation. Any ideas?
Well, if you keep putting your horse in situations that will test him and prove him and stretch those levels, little by little, you'll improve that. Now, are there some horses and mules that are more sure-footed than others? Absolutely. Absolutely. I've had plenty of mules that are clumsy, and I've had plenty of mules that are really sure-footed. Same thing with horses. We've had horses that we take anywhere, and horses that I wouldn't want to. So you have to consider that they are individuals. So, but here's the deal. When if you feel like they're going to panic, what the horse really is lacking is balance. And if they lack balance, then they'll lack self-confidence. It's not much different than us. Like, since I've been stuck in this straight leg brace, like, it's actually terrifying going up and down stairs. It's pretty scary. And it takes me a long time, to go up the stairs.
Just getting into the shower.
I used to get up the stairs, like, I'm just always fast. I walk fast. And anyways, my point is, because I'm out of balance, my confidence in my ability to go up the stairs has gone way down. Same thing with your horse. So how do you improve it? Well, improve their balance. This is the interesting thing, Linda, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting thing, Linda, about what we do in our clinics. Most of you that know us, our main thing is trail riders. That is who we cater to. Number 2 would be the packers. Number 3 would be the guys doing this for a living, ranching and cowboying. Those are our 3 main things: trail riding, packing, cowboy work. And in the packing, you could throw in all the hunters too. Okay. That's what we cater to. But interestingly enough, it's a regular occurrence that we have people tell us they don't need that fancy stuff. And I look at what we do. I'm like, what are you talking about? We're just trying to prepare your mule for rough country.
So they know how to use all 4 legs.
That's it. Everything we teach. So when people give us some crap because we can move the hinds, we move the front. Yeah, I like them to side pass. I like them to leg
Well, I
yield.
think a lot of people
like 'em
hear
more.
just the terms you use and they're like, "Meh."
Yeah, they do. So they put off all those are just basic tools. But here's the deal. If my mule can do those basic tools, they don't panic in the rocks and in the deadfall because they know how to balance and they're confident. It's no different than when you see the football players, you know, the old football movies, the football players going through the tires and they go through faster and faster and faster. They're balanced. And you see people playing soccer and all the moves that they can make, they're balanced. And the more balanced confidence you build in your horses and in your mules, the better they're going to be up on the mountain, and the safer it's going to be for you too. At the end of the day, it's
Well, and then
safety.
how technical you're going to get is dependent on the ability of your horse, because not everybody is going to go be a football player and be able to do all that stuff. So there are some horses or mules that they just don't, some do better at it than others. And you just have to know their limits and don't push them farther than that so that they lose confidence.
Yep.
So,
well, we're about out of time, guys. I appreciate you all jumping on here. Looks like there's some questions that we didn't get to, but we got to go. So remember, you can jump on here and ask your questions on these Tuesdays. Next Tuesday, though, I wanted to announce this. Oh, my phone's that's my phone. I was going to look at my calendar. Next Tuesday, I'm flying, so we won't have Mule Tip Tuesday next Tuesday because I'll be flying right at this time. So, but stay tuned.
maybe
Following Tuesday after that,
you could just post one, maybe like just a tip.
I might
we won't
post,
be able to be live.
Yeah, I might post it. But I can't be live because I'll be in the air. We start our clinics next week. We go to South Carolina, and then where do we go? Then we go to Arizona for a few,
Texas,
and then we go to Texas.
Texas still has some openings, and we have a cow working at that one. Cow working.
Yeah, where's all of our Texas friends? We have some openings in the Tatum, Texas clinic. If you guys want to come work cows and do the things we're talking about,
one and cow working, right?
Yep. So, anyways, I appreciate you guys. Make sure if you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe. If you guys are watching on Facebook, make sure you hit follow
and share.
And share it. Yeah, please share this with a friend.
Share it to your favorite mule group.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Share it to your favorite mule group. All right, guys. God bless you, and we will see you later.